going on there, guys? Good evening. Good Friday evening. It is the Earthmaster here on this beautiful, crazy Friday night. May 6th, 2022 is the date. About 7:07 p.m. West Coast time here in California. Latest quake on the Earthquake 3D globe up here shows a 2.2 into the area of Northern California. Now, we have been seeing some activity there kind of ramp up over the last 12 hours or so into the area of the Cascadia subduction zone. Let's go ahead and check it out here on the latest map here from the USGS. Of course, this is showing the 2.5 and above. We'll go ahead and go down to the all magnitudes and take a look at some of this activity, which is occurring here just outside of Eureka and Arcata area. Again, these earthquakes, the 3.4 that struck here just off the coast of Eureka was down there at about 20 kilometers into the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. Stand by for 1 second. All right, we got it. So yeah, there's a little bit of deep movement going on down here, folks, in the southern end of the Cascadia, and this is kind of coinciding with some tremor movement that we're watching over the last couple days up here in southern Oregon. Now, this earthquake here at 3.4, nothing big, but the depth there at 20 kilometers there, definitely very close to the upper portion here of the Cascadia megathrust zone. Of course, the area of locked extends down there a little ways into the subduction area itself, roughly from this line inland a little bit. So got to watch that when we start seeing some earthquake activity kind of ramping up towards the locked area of the Cascadia, which has been, it's been patiently, well, I shouldn't say patiently, it's been building up pressure in over 300 years, 322 years since the last major mega quake out here, a 9.0 earthquake struck the northwest here along this Cascadia zone. Extends up here past the Vancouver Island ranges down into the Northern California area where I was just showing you. Also within the last hour, we got a 2.2, a little bit shallower, but still an overall general sign of some pressure here in Northern California along the west coast. That 2.2 striking at 7.7 kilometers there just outside of Hayfork. Up into the Pacific Northwest, things look relatively quiet here for the most part. I do want to pull up the tremor map here tonight. Stand by for just a second. We'll get the tremor map keyed up. And you can see that activity here kind of stretching down into the area. Looks like these guys are on the ball tonight. So this is actually looking a little bit more real time than anything. Before, when you watch the tremor map, it would tally up all the numbers up until the... well, actually, let's see. Last tremor was at 1807, so that was definitely a few hours ago. But I just checked this map here a short time ago, and I didn't see these ones here in Northern California, so looks like they may have added a couple more. Either way, this area right here, kind of outside where I'm at here, just outside of Chico, is the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone as it dips underneath the North American plate. That's going to be the Gorda plate here off to the west. Juan de Fuca plate, if you want to mention the entire section off the coast as a whole, dips down into this area, and then of course as it goes down further it gets melted and whatnot, and you create the volcanoes up here along the volcano ranges throughout the Cascades and the northern Sierra Nevada mountains. But this here is at the very, very end of the southern end of the Cascadia. I don't think you can go much more south because we know that this doesn't extend all the way, down to Sacramento. I don't think it does. I mean, they're just after all the studies I've looked at and all the articles, it's just not possible. But right at the southern end is where we're seeing that tremor activity kick up here tonight, which we're ultimately seeing that shallower earthquake upstream because this activity tremor is down there around 25 to 45 kilometers or so below the surface. Let me got to make sure everything's working right. Of course, the computer went down earlier this morning again. So I've been keeping an eye on it. Been acting kind of suspicious lately. It comes and goes, and most of the time when it does act suspicious, say for example my computer resets or shuts down, it's always around 3:30 in the morning, and I don't have anything set up to shut down around that time. No scheduler. So anyway, activity. Tremor department leading up to the activity we're seeing on the map here in Northern California right now. So still got to watch that. That's an obvious sign here of some pressure right along the Cascadia subduction zone. So watching that pretty closely. So movement up here into the southern Oregon area as well. Looks like Grants Pass area, but then again, this is below the land, about 35, 40 miles or 40 kilometers down there into the subduction area. The northern part of the Cascadia looks pretty quiet. We're not seeing any tremor activity being reported there. The previous day, 22 epicenters, roughly within the southern Oregon area, and the day prior to that, nada, nothing going on. So Pacific Northwest, relatively quiet, as I mentioned. One earthquake here around Mount St. Helens. It seems like they have to at least add one quake, right? Because we know that there's quite a few microquakes kicking off here. Let's go ahead and check out the volcanic seismicity map here at Mount St. Helens. Right off the bat, there's that 0.7 that they're reporting at UTC time of 0541. So let's go ahead and check out that seismograph here and see what they are reporting around the 0541 time. Let's see. There's some activity within the last couple hours there. That's not what we're looking at. We need to go back to the 0541 UTC time, which is the previous UTC day, which would probably put it earlier this morning, I believe, time frame, or late last night. So let's see what we got. What'd they say it was? Let me double check here on this one. UTC time 0541. 0541. All right. 05. This one? I guess that's got to be it. Maybe this one. What about all these other ones that are showing up here on the map? Although this activity today looks pretty quiet compared to days past, so I'm not for sure why they would report a little bitty speck of a quake. That means these other ones here are a little bit on the above that size, right? Let's look at the previous day here, and as you can see there on Mount St. Helens, there's definitely quite a bit of movement kicking up here. And we can go back the last week, and it pretty much looks about the same. Some days more than others. So there's been definitely a continued movement of quakes there at Mount St. Helens, and only one out of maybe 10 or 15 earthquakes. One report out of 15 that do take place here. All right, guys, there's the earthquake activity occurring at Mount St. Helens. There it is. We reported it. All right. Up here to the north, Winthrop, Washington, 8.9 kilometer deep, 1.4. Aside from that, the Strait of Juan de Fuca and the Puget Sound looks pretty quiet. Seattle looks quiet as well. Off the coast of Vancouver Island area looks quiet. Into the Southern California area we go. I don't want to get distracted too much and go the opposite way. Looks, well, got some activity up here around the Pyramid Lake, Nevada region. This is all new. Although these guys do get some swarms on occasion, and some activity spotty throughout this area of the California region. Look at the eastern part of Sierra Nevada, pretty quiet. Even down here in Ridgecrest, not a whole lot of movement. So therefore, a lot of times we see activity pick up down here along this side of the plate boundary, which is the Pacific side, right? Southern California. And it's kind of looking like that today, including a 2.5. Right now, within the last hour at 11 kilometers. A little swarming activity here around the Palomar Mountain area again. Palomar Observatory. Remember that area? A couple months ago, we had a pretty significant swarm of activity underneath the Palomar Mountain range. So, not for sure what they got cooking over there, what they're doing. But definitely a lot of quakes were kicking up here a couple months back. But today, a couple small microquakes and a 2.5 just to the south of there. San Andreas Fault looks pretty quiet, folks. Not a whole lot to report there on that region of the plate boundary. And we'll go ahead and look at the rest of the country and some movement up around Idaho. Not a whole lot going on through Yellowstone, so let's go ahead and check that off, or at least look at that right off the bat. Man, awfully quiet. If you're wondering what this activity is here showing up on the map, it's not magma intrusion. It's not magma on the move. Underground, folks. There it is. There's proof. No, that's not proof. That's wind. A lot of wind environments up here. Magma does not work that way. And if that was magma movement, you can expect that to show up all across the park, and even wind events do. I'm not for sure what the wind speeds are up there in Wyoming right now, but I believe there's some type of low pressure system coming in here. I know we got it here in California right now, but it's going to be working its way. Probably already there by now with that wind. So anyway, aside from that, no microquake swarm or anything to take note of there in Yellowstone. Some activity around the Pecos, Texas area, and also Oklahoma. A few quakes out and about the region. This earthquake down here around the Arbuckle Mountains, pretty shallow earthquake. I'm sure there's some fault systems out here. The 0.4 depth there is super shallow for that 2.1. And nobody felt it. It is an automatic status review, so not 100% certain if it even occurred. Looking at the satellite view of that area, let's see what we got in the region. Definitely some fault systems out there. Looks like also some pumping operations out there in the mountains, right? Got to tap into those faults. What's going on up here? A beautiful blue little lake. That doesn't look too good. That's probably algae infested there. What is going on with this place, folks? Anybody know what this area is out here in this area of Oklahoma? Looks like some type of mining operation, maybe some type of rock company. And then also around here, there's some looks to be some oil operations or pumping operations out here in the vicinity of where this earthquake struck. Seen this area out here as well, so I'm going to back out, show you guys where this is at. It's out there in the middle of nowhere. I don't think I've even covered that area of Oklahoma. And I've took a lot of back roads out there when the storms were super slow. South of Pauls Valley, outside of Davis, between 53 and 7, it looks like, in the Arbuckle Mountains. If you know anything about that area, let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of curious as to see what that feature is out there on the satellite up here to the north. All right, guys, backing out of here. See what we got. Let's see. New Madrid zone, pretty quiet. Eastern part of the country as well. I know they had some severe weather over there. Lots of rainfall. Puerto Rico area, a little spotty on quakes tonight. Latest quake, 2.4, just on the western side of the area. Pretty deep, though, at about 17 kilometers. And also we're noticing some movement off the coast of Guatemala with a pair of earthquakes. One within the last hour or so. Actually, it looks like it's over the time frame. But 4.7 here. Striking inland, 89 kilometers into this area of the Middle America Trench. Some further movement off the coast of Costa Rica as well. This one occurred late last night, though. A 4.1 down there, about 22 kilometers. South America, seen a train of earthquakes up and down the Peru-Chile Trench. Very obvious plate boundary, correct? And nothing big at the moment. Some of this shallow, some of it deep. So a mix of earthquakes here along the South America region today, showing us a pretty good sign of some general pressure within this area. I think the hot spot, though, today has been the activity around Fiji, Vanuatu area as well. This area has seen some movement. And let's see if it's been within the last 30 days or so. Yes, it has. At least some of the aftershock sequences here. I believe this area has seen a 6-pointer or 2 within the last couple months here along this trench area. I believe that's all aftershock sequences that we're seeing right now today. But then again, the slip rate in this area south of Port Vila is super high as far as the accumulated time it takes to build up enough stress to produce an earthquake. It doesn't take too much time to do that. Some further deep activity here around the Fiji Islands area, 526 kilometers, 4.5 for that one. And another 500 kilometer deep, 5.3. So definitely some deep movement occurring within this area today. No subsequent large-scale activity here yet along the Kermadec Trench southward through New Zealand. Java Trench area is pretty quiet as well. Philippines, still seeing some aftershock sequences following those couple 6s there over the last couple weeks, and many other quakes that have struck here in this area. It's been very active along the Philippine Trench lately. Let's see, the East China Sea, seeing a 5.4, And up here around the Japan area and northward through the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench, all quiet. One earthquake out here around the Pakistan area, 5.2. That one occurring late last night. And, of course, this Indian Ocean earthquake. That one was from earlier this morning. So nothing major to report up north or down south for now, at least as far as the reporting goes. Let's check out the EMSC model here along the Middle America Trench. Check out this activity that's popping up here. As I mentioned, off the coast of Guatemala, I've seen quite a bit of swarming going on in the 3 range. And, of course, we had a couple 4s in there as well. Looking at some activity into the Gulf of California with a couple 2s. But definitely sitting, looking like they're pretty active here in this region. See that trail of activity stretching all the way down here into the Peru-Chile Trench today. Let's see what else we got here. Earthquakes Canada is on the map. Let's go ahead and check these guys out here. And again, nothing really going on. A little bit of activity outside of Quebec, but this older movement here off the coast of the Vancouver Island range is all older activity from days past. A couple small microquakes, though, within the last day, but definitely nothing to write home about there off the coast village of Queen Charlotte, BC area. 20-kilometer depth for 1.1. Solar weather activity. That's kind of been coming and going lately, although it's kind of leveled out over the last 24, 36 hours or so. We've seen a couple C flares pop off in that time frame, and it's still crackling, but no major uptick in solar flare activity at the moment. And most of the sunspots here, 3004, still the likely candidate of producing any significant flares. I still think there's a chance of a good M flare in that category in this sunspot. 3006, man, it doesn't look like it wants to do anything, unfortunately. Looking at the probability details currently, these guys still showing a 25% chance of an X flare. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they've updated their map currently, but I'm sure they'll get to it. I know those guys are pretty busy there, but just looking at the dynamics of these sunspots here, they're just not set up for any significant flares at the moment. No storming on the way, no auroras. At least the chances of it are slim to none, 30 to 20% at the higher latitudes only. So, man, hopefully this picks up. I know it comes and goes, but man, we need something good popping on the sun. I say anyway, at least in my thought process, we need some good solar weather activity. All right, guys, let's see what else we got to cover here tonight. Let's see what we got here on the National Data Buoy Center. We got 4.0 coming into the Indonesia area, and a 3.6 in the Haiti area. I was just checking my earthquake app right now. Let's see, what do we got? I don't see anything really in event mode. No doom and gloom fear-mongering with any of these buoys tonight. Everything looks clear, folks. The one that... this one's still offline, huh? No data for this time period. I guess they're working on it. We'll see what happens, so... aside from that, folks, it is Friday night. There's a lot of crazy people out there. I'm not even joking, at least here in Northern California. I'm going to stay behind my doors. I don't party anyway, so I stay at home and just enjoy the evening. Got a nice breeze kicking up out here. And I'm going to enjoy the coolness. Enjoy the weather, so to speak. It's supposed to be down in the 70s, 60s over the weekend, actually, so I'm looking forward to that. Missy Mimi's is currently busy with something at the moment, so she's not able to be here for the Friday night update. Normally we do the question and answer show on Friday nights, but lately it's been moved to Saturday night because of some conflicts with some schedules, but it's all good. And she'll be back here tomorrow night, hopefully with a question and answer show here when we do our updates at night. So we'll see how it goes. What are these guys saying? Another sunspot is approaching. A new and potentially active sunspot group is hiding just behind the sun's southeastern limb. Um, that was May 5th. Didn't really notice that on there. Oh, I guess we can see a little glimpse of it. Just barely. See that back in the back here? See if we can zoom in. I don't know if it's anything special, but we'll see what happens in the coming days, folks, in the coming weeks, and the coming years as we advance towards, of course, the solar maximum. So, all right, guys, the Earth is spinning backwards. We've got to fix that. Hope everyone has a good evening. Stay safe. There's that 3.6 just coming into the Haiti area at the moment on the Earthquake 3D globe. Again, combination of USGS data and also the EMSC. EMSC is the one showing the smaller quakes throughout the globe. So otherwise, the USGS would only show 4.0 and above internationally. So that's kind of why I like to include and combine the data. I think it gives a little bit more meaning to watching the earthquake activity out here on the globe. All right, guys, enjoy your evening. Stay safe out there. We'll chat you guys another time. Peace out.